Hiya, and welcome back to Home Somewhere Else. The game that teaches us the don't fuck with moms. Seriously, don't. Like, even though Kathy is smaller than Chad, she could literally like lift him up and snap him in half like a twig. Seriously, moms are just built different. He's fucking terrifying. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Leave them there with the rest, please. You enter the room and head towards the ever-growing pile of packages. She closes the door behind you as you bend down and drop the boxes. Ow. Your back aches due to your reckless disregard for good posture. Chad, you have to bend with your knees. Don't do that. Hiya. Don't do that again or you might actually get hurt. Hey, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, you better. The last thing I need is my star employee getting hurt. The rabbit gives you a light pat on the shoulder as you arch backwards, stretching your weary spine. You good? Don't forget we're painting today. We've got to get the whole place looking sharp. Are we seriously going to paint the whole place today? Yep, the whole place. The whole place. The whole place. By ourselves? By ourselves? What? No! If we're going to get this done today, we're going to need a whole lot of help. Your eyes light up in hope. You hired professionals? Huh? Hell no. I asked one of my friends to lend a hand. Oh. He should be arriving soon enough, but let's not waste time. Would you kindly grab the paint and the rollers? Oh god, is it going to be Fred? Is the friend she asked Fred? Alright, where are they? It's in the box you were carrying. I went to pick them up fresh from the store. You make your way to the boxes from earlier and open the lid. You find a set of 3 paint rollers and paint pans along with some smaller brushes for more precise work. You grab a pair of rollers and pans and walk towards Jenny, who is rummaging through a plastic bag. Normally, we'd need to cover the floor with tarps and tape up the windows, but we're not going to. Why is that? Well, because we're going to replace everything, so who cares if we get paint on it? The flooring, the chairs, the side windows, the whole place is going to be redesigned. Makes sense. Do we have a design in mind then? No. In due time, Chad, don't you worry. Oh, I do worry. Shall we? Sure. Let's get to it. Go ahead and open a paint bucket while I get these suits ready. Please pour some in a container for the both of us. You grab a screwdriver and crack open the aluminum can. The latex smell makes your nose twitch uncontrollably. You pour paint into one of the rolling pins and bring it over to the rabbit who's folding up 2 pieces of cloth. First, we've got to put down some layers of this white paint. It'll prime the walls for when we paint over it. That's what the guy at the store told me, at least. I'll start back there and you paint the entrance walls. Oh, put this on, by the way. Jenny throws a wrapped piece of white cloth at you. You unfold it and find a very long full-body suit. What on earth is this? They're industrial-grade disposable coveralls designed for commercial painting, waste management, and protection from biohazards and bodily fluids. This box is very descriptive. Basically, it's to make sure you don't get paint on your clothes. Charming. Well, let me put this thing on. You fiddle around trying to get your foot into the first hole, but after a minute, it fits you like a glove. You pull up the zipper and you're ready to work. You turn around to face Jenny as she immediately bursts out laughing. What is it? You look like a microwaved marshmallow with a face. Jenny quickly puts on her coveralls as well. Ah. Does this make me look fat? The rabbit strikes a seductive pose while blowing you a kiss. You can't help but laugh as well. What's so funny? It's your second day on the job and you're already looking to get fired, huh? You look gorgeous. I know. With the fun and games out of the way, it's time to go hard on the paint. Jenny grabs her roller and paint pan and walks to the back of the cafe. You grab the second pan and pour some paint for yourself. The bucket grows empty as your tray fills up. You grab your gear and make your way to the front. You set up a stepladder to reach the top of the wall. With the rolling pan by your feet, you begin painting the worn-out wood. It takes a few seconds for Jenny to turn on the music on her phone, but soon the sound of her wireless speakers fill the room. She's too far away to talk to, so the music is a welcome addition to what could have been a quiet affair. You make your way up and down the wall, making sure not to get paint on the front windows. The side windows are fair game, but the entrance ones are too nice to mess up. Soon enough, you're done with your first part of the wall. You move on to the next section, starting from the top and making your way to the floor. This next part is one of the longer sides of the room. Your legs grow tired as you climb the ladder every few minutes. A couple hours pass by as the paint grows thinner and thinner in your rolling pan, but by miracle or skill, you manage to finish up the long wall. Hell yeah, another half done. You turn around and walk to Jenny's work area. She seems to be done painting the entire back of the cafe. Hey Jenny, I'm finished with the front side. Sadly, we're running low on paint. It's looking good, Chad. We're almost halfway done. And don't you worry, my backup plan should be coming right. You can hear someone knocking from the front door. Can you open the door, please? Sure, 1 second. You make your way to the entrance, pleasantly content with the progress the two of you have made. With the extra help, this seemingly impossible task seems a lot more viable. You grab the doorknob and pull it open, excited to welcome the third member of the crew. I fucking called it. I called it. That was me knocking. I was the one knocking and I fucking called it. Good morning. Your smile dies in an instant. An unfortunately familiar face stands before you, holding 2 large buckets of paint. Don't tell me. Hey, yo, Fred, come on in. You hold the door and motion for him to enter the cafe. The tall man sheepishly obeys. Thank you. As the man walks past you, a disarmingly sweet perfume brushes against your nose. A welcome aroma juxtaposed to the paint's harsh stench. You know this scent. It's from when you guys first met years ago. Jenny, I got the paint you asked for. Why, thank you, and just in time. We just finished painting both sides and ran out of paint for the rest. Jenny fumbles to remove her coverall, nearly tripping before regaining her balance. With the suit finally off, she skips towards the tall man. Come here, boy! The rabbit gives Fred a firm hug, followed by a kiss on the cheek. You know each other? Huh? Oh yeah, we've been close for almost 9 years. What are the odds? Fred was the first person to talk to me in school when I first moved here. He's been a great friend ever since. Friends are good. Yep, he offered to help me set up the cafe, so he'll be with us from now on. So I'll have to deal with him every day? Sheesh. Jenny walks to the bar and places her coveralls on top of it. She presses a button on the speaker and soon the once lively room becomes silent. That being said, it's almost lunchtime, so I'll grab us some food. Don't stop painting while I'm out. I'm trusting you with the place, Chad. Wait, what if I'll be back in a bit. See you guys later. And just like that, Jenny walked out of the cafe, leaving you and Fred alone. You stand there silently, Fred doing his best to avoid eye contact with you. So, not a word. Fred doesn't even seem surprised as he looks down in shame. Go put on that coverall and paint that wall over there. Please. Fred silently obeys. The German Shepherd makes his way to the plastic bags on the counter, seemingly conscious of every step he takes around you. He reaches in and grabs a white suit, sliding his arms and legs on, and with an almost unnerving silence. Once he has his attire, he kneels down and cracks open a paint bucket, pouring some into your empty rolling pan. Is that good? Fred stays there kneeling, awaiting a response. Yes, thank you. The man pours paint into Jenny's pan as well. You feel yourself losing focus of what's happening around you. Your eyes seem to focus on Fred and all his features as the man remains on his knees. The white cloth seems to sculpt the man's wide shoulders and strong back. Your eyes travel down to his flowing brown and gold tail arching above the withered floor. Your eyes travel lower uncontrollably, finally landing on his round, muscular ass. Christ. Fred turns to you, his gaze meeting yours. You snap back into reality, turning away in an instant as if you were passively looking around the room. You quickly grab your supplies and stepladder and head to the longest wall in the cafe. Fred works behind the counter and starts painting the wall directly across from you. The both of you start working diligently. So, you don't even look at him. I know you told me not to say anything, but it'll be short. I'm really sorry I got riled up and grabbed you the other day. It was so much for me to handle in such a short amount of time, and I allowed my feelings to take over. I'm sorry, Chad. You keep painting silently. The lack of music makes his words crystal clear to you. Something wants you to accept his sincerity, but you just can't. Probably because you're so hard-headed. And I'm so glad you're here again. The man's voice cracks like glass being stepped on. You can't help but look towards him. For so long, all I wanted was to see you one last time. And now you're here. Fred. Fred's breathing grows shaky. He wipes his eyes with the back of his hand, unaware of your gaze. A disheartening silence consumes the room. The only things you can hear are his breathing and the ladder underneath you. The minutes crawl as you both continue to paint. The deafening quiet is broken by the front door swinging open. Hey you guys, lunch is here. I bought us some burritos. The bunny skips to the bar counter, placing the bag on it before opening up the brown package. Come take a break and grab some food. Sure. Alrighty. I need to wash my hands though. I'll be right back. While Jenny's gone, you put your paint roller down onto the rolling pan near you, while Fred goes to the corner to leave his. Then you both proceed to remove your coveralls. You sit at the bar using the chair closest to you. Okay, I'm ready. Fred heads to the front side of the counter and sits next to you. Jenny sits behind the bar as if she was about to serve you both drinks. You come here often? Not often enough. So what do you got for us? For you, Chad, I got you beans with cheese and hot spicy sauce. Jenny hands you the hefty package wrapped in aluminum foil. It's still pretty hot despite the journey. And for Fred, soy meat with garlic sauce. Fred receives the wrapped burrito with a confused look on his face. Wait, Chad doesn't really like beans. He can have mine instead. Huh? How do you even remember such a small detail? You turn to see Fred offering you his unopened burrito. His visage is friendly despite the awkwardness of earlier. You turn back to see Jenny take a massive bite out of hers, happily chewing on it. A part of you is hoping you could trade with her instead. Oh, thank you. The two of you trade burritos, his fingers catching yours in the exchange. It only lasts a second, but your heart races a little. You turn away and unfurl the burrito from its shiny cage. The sweet, savory scent of garlic and soy meat makes you drool. You sink your teeth into the soft tortilla while Fred begins to eat with the rest of you. So, do you like it? Your ear twitches at the man's question. Sure. I don't want to be rude to him in front of Jenny. How can he act like nothing's wrong? It pisses me off. You take another big bite from the burrito, trying to enjoy it while sitting next to Fred. So, how was yesterday evening, Chad? It was alright. I went to pick up Thony and then we went back to Kathy's. I helped make a really nice dinner and then I stayed at her place. Who's Kathy and what do you mean by stayed at her place? Oh, she's, Would it be weirder that I'm staying at her house after only knowing her for a few days? Or that I'm homeless because my boss caught me naked in the middle of the woods? Fred turns to you, seemingly aware that you're nervous as all hell. She's a catwoman who sells damn good coffee at the park. Fred? You're confused by Fred butting in, taking the attention away from you in the process. Oh, really? She sells coffee? How are they? They're absolutely delicious. Easily the best I've ever had. I always try and grab a cup when she's selling them since she doesn't have a set schedule. Yeah, they're amazing. I've never been much of a coffee fan, but now I'm in love. You join Fred in praising Kathy's signature cat, Faye, thankful to have Jenny's focus elsewhere. The best you've ever had? That's a pretty high bar to pass considering you're kind of a coffee snob, Fred. Maybe I should get in contact with her. I could use someone who actually knows what they're doing. This could be the start of an interesting relationship. Jenny rubs her hands menacingly as if she's concocting a devious ploy. Hold up. I've never even seen you make a cup of coffee. I always see you buying them from Farbucks. Fred's face grows dismayed as Jenny sits there silently, a nervous smile on her face. You don't make your own coffee? And you're opening a coffee shop. What? No. Who do you take me for? I'll have you know, I've seen a couple of videos online, and I know how to use little cups. Fred holds his face in his hands, shaking his head slowly. That last comment really seemed to annihilate his confidence. Oh my god, Jenny. Little cups? You mean like those little cups you use for espresso? No, I mean the Keurig. You just plug in a little plastic cup and the machine does the rest. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but I'm going to make this joke. I don't know. Do I have it on here somewhere? Fuck. I can't find it. Here it is. Just... There we go. Your heart sinks. Don't worry, I have it all under control. I don't even know what to say, but for what it's worth, Kathy was showing me the ropes last night. She believes I can make a really good cup of coffee, so that feels nice. Nice? Chad, you're gonna make me filthy rich. Sure, I need money too, so that would be great. I'm paying you hourly. Also, what did you mean by her place? Is it like a living room couch situation, or... Fuck me in half. Jenny, can't you see that he doesn't want to talk about it? But I want to know, because I might have another proposition for you. However, let's save that for later. Thanks. Anyways, I can definitely introduce you to Kathy. She's really sweet, and I know she'd be willing to give you some tips and pointers. That'd be great. Thank you so much, Chad. With that out of the way, Jenny places an elbow on the table and rests her chin in her palm, a shit-eating grin on her face. So, when you say at her place, Jenny, I swear to... I'm just kidding. Fred looks at her with a disgruntled frown as Jenny giggles childishly. Well, do you think we'll be able to finish setting this place up before next Monday? Looks like there's still a ton more to do. We may need another week at this rate. Well, I'm not sure we'll make it by then, but that also depends on how hard we work on this. I've got the equipment here already. Those boxes have the typical coffee shop necessities along with cups, plates, and silverware. I'm also getting a head start in terms of preparing for the redesign itself. I've already got most of the materials we need, but I'm not sure how the place will look exactly. Well, I trust you and I'm sure it'll come out great in the end. You can count on me no matter what. Fred smiles confidently as Jenny grabs his hands. She's on the verge of tears. Frederick, thank you. And you too, Chad. I can be hard-headed about these kinds of things, as you know. I'm new to this whole business thing and... The rabbit shyly grabs one of your hands. Her touch is soft but firm. I'm sorry if I pressured you into working for me. I know I hired you out of nowhere and kind of roped you into this hot mess express, but I needed someone like you, who's strong, hardworking, and sexy. Ahem. You have nothing to apologize for, Jenny. I was in an hour of need myself. It was just perfect timing in the end. You've done such a great job thus far, so I can't thank you enough. The two of you smile at one another. It feels nice to be appreciated. Sorry to butt in, but what do you mean by hour of need? Yeah, you told me you were about to start looking for a job when we first met. What were you doing before that? Well, Is now the right time to tell them? I'm sure if I don't include the nudity part, it should be okay. Chad, you don't have to say anything you don't want to. No, I'm fine. Are you sure? You seemed kind of uneasy earlier. I'm fine with talking. But Chad, I'm only trying to... I said I'm fine. Your voice raises more than you'd like it to, anger flickering for no more than a second. Jenny and Fred seem a little startled by your tone. Whoa. Damn it. When did I get so temperamental? Where the hell are these outbursts coming from? Fred looks away, rubbing the back of his neck. Sorry. The rabbit seems to look at you intently before facing Fred, seemingly holding her tongue about the outburst. So, haha. Anyways, what happened before we met? I lost my job the day before we met. Wow, really? What happened? There were these assholes who stole my stuff and then a tree fell into my boss's office. They decided to blame it on me. Did you actually do it? No, of course not. But since the boss saw me make the tree fall, he blamed me for it. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't even cut the tree down, but I wasn't able to explain myself. So you just threw a whole ass tree on top of your boss's office? Cool. Not my definition of cool. I didn't do it on purpose. If anything, I was set up. I didn't know the tree had been cut so deeply. I saw it right as it was falling. It was only a matter of time. We're not even allowed to chop lumber so close to company structures. All I did was climb onto a branch and there it went. Don't you dare try to throw a whole tree onto this... Don't you dare try to throw a whole tree on this coffee shop or else I'll kick your ass. Jenny had a cheeky smirk while she said it. But I didn't do it. Jenny grips her hand with force. Promise me you won't destroy my cafe. I promise, I promise. Good. I know Chad wouldn't do something like that. At least not the Chad I remember. Jenny, we do have a restroom, right? Oh, right. I haven't shown you the whole building yet, but we can save that for later. The bathrooms are at the back of that hallway. To your right, you'll see the door. Can I use it? Of course you can. You don't even have to ask. Unless you want me to help shake it off for you. Fred shakes his head with a small chuckle. No, no thanks. I'm good. You get up from the seat. Excuse me. You make your way to the short hallway. You're greeted by 3 doors at the end. The left door has a pink silhouette of a dressed figure, and the door to your right has a blue figure. The door between them is closed. Hopefully one day we'll figure out what's beyond it. The pain in your bladder quickly reminds you to keep moving. You make your way to the door and to your right. You enter the rundown restroom, closing the creaky door behind you. This place makes you miss the bathroom at your old place. A set of 3 sinks line a dirty mirror, each one having their own form of filth or disrepair. Boxes are stacked in 2 corners of the room. The urinals are unkempt as well, filled with dirt and weeds growing in them. You make your way to the first of the 3 stalls, pushing one of the doors open to find a rusty but otherwise clean toilet. Oh, thank God. You unzip your pants and aim for the toilet. Damn, Fred has really been trying to get in my good graces today. He's just as friendly as I remember. But how can he be so chill, acting like nothing ever happened? I wonder if he even remembers. Should I just let things go? It's hard to deny I've been acting like a bitch to him, but it's not like he didn't do anything to deserve my pissy attitude. For what it's worth, I'll be nice in front of Jenny. She really seems to care about him, and I don't want to spoil her dreams just because of bad blood. You let out a sigh as you finish, shaking off the excess and holstering your weapon. You push open the unlocked stall door, your feet feel uncomfortable on the grimy bathroom tiles while walking to the sinks. You turn the oxidized spigot on only to find there's no water coming out. You decide to try all 3 sinks at one time, hoping video game logic will apply here and the third one will work. You try the sink farthest from you, twisting its knob and waiting silently. A single drop falls before soul-crushing sound echoes deep within the basin. Well, shit. The faucet begins to shake violently as the roaring intensifies from the wall. You reach forward and turn off the sink, hoping you didn't summon a mad god by accident. What the hell was that? I have no clue, man. You catch your breath and recompose yourself. Despite finding out what hell sounds like, you venture forth and try the last sink in the middle. Hygiene is important. Hey, Chad, are you okay in there? We heard some strange sounds and we got worried. Yeah, I'm alright. You can come in. Fred enters the bathroom, poised to face the nightmare in the pipes, armed only with his courage and curiosity. Sup? It's, two of the sinks aren't working and one of them started acting funny. Funny how? I thought it was going to open a portal to oblivion, or explode. Fred looks at you silently before bursting out laughing. Well, lucky for you, I know all about closing oblivion gates. Let me take a look at them. Fred makes his way to the scene of the crime. The golden-haired dog turns the first and second faucet on and gets no response. He scratches his chin before continuing. Finally arriving at the devil basin, he turns the knob and is met with an unnerving silence. A piercing chill shoots up your spine as you instinctively step back. Fred turns the faucet off, slowly turning around to face you. I see what you mean. Well, good news is I know I can fix them, but I'm going to need some space if that's okay with you. But what about my hands? Ha ha ha, don't worry about it. It'll only take a minute, buddy. Before you go, mind closing the door all the way? Fred points to the bathroom door that is still partially open. You guess it's probably not one of those self-closing systems. You nod as you make your way to the exit. The dog seems happy despite being left to do the plumbing all by himself. Alrighto, I'll tell you when it's safe. You nod in agreement and make your way out of the door, slowly closing it behind you. Everything okay back there? The rabbit's voice echoes from the main room. You decide to walk down the hallway and greet Jenny, who's still sitting prettily. Yeah, the sinks are just acting up. That doesn't surprise me. It's something we need to fix ASAP. We? You need to fix those ASAP. You think you're up to the challenge? You hear a deep roar erupting from the bathroom along with the door swinging open. You can hear feet trotting down the wooden hallway. The two of you look to see Fred, who's running like a bat out of hell. He bolts to the far end of the cafe to grab a bucket and a mop. The roaring continues as a man runs back into the hallway, ready to meet his fate. The bathroom door slams shut as the onslaught rages on. The two of you sit silently, the many stuff inside the boxes shaking violently. I'm sure he has everything under control. The rumbling continues for a solid minute before fading into nothing. Silence consumes the room before a relieved sigh is heard from the bathroom door. All done. Did he fix a pipe or fight a demon? Fred's face is covered in sweat, but other than that, he's remarkably dry. The golden German shepherd motions for the two of you to follow him. You're the second to enter after Fred, greeted by the sound of water hitting the basins. You turn to see all three sinks working perfectly. Wait, you fixed them that fast? The bunny peers her head over your shoulder, using you as a meat shield to enter the bathroom. So, how are we looking in here? Jenny quickly notices that all three sinks are operating normally. Good work, Chad, you deserve a raise. But Fred fixed the sinks. How did you get them to work again? Well, two of the sinks had their water turned off, which is why nothing happened. But the one that was giving us trouble had a bunch of stuff clogging it. So I dripped the gunk out in order for the water to flow through. Fred points to the bucket full of dirty water and debris. Good work, Fred. You deserve a raise. Chad, since you tried to claim his work as yours, you don't get a raise. Huh? I didn't even... Whatever, let me wash my hands. Chad, you didn't even wash your hands after peeing? Ew. Jenny walks out of the restroom. But they weren't working! Fred shakes his head while laughing. Fred then walks past you and stops next to you, placing his hand on your shoulder. Don't worry, Jenny just has a strange sense of humor. Go ahead and wash up, we need to finish painting. The man pats you comfortingly as he heads out of the restroom. You shrug it off and make your way to the apparently functioning sinks. You hesitantly turn two of the faucets off before rubbing your hands under the cold water of the middle sink. You continue to scrub your hands as the water from the two other sinks begins to drain. The murky liquid has a strange color in the demon sink. You pause to look into the basin as the water washes away. What appears to be green leaves and plant roots are caught in the bottom of the drain. They look rather fresh, but how could they have gotten this far up the pipes? I hope this won't be a recurring issue. I doubt people would feel comfortable coming to a cafe where the sink might eat them. You fish out the plant debris and toss them into the trash bin. You look deeper into the bucket, and sure enough, there are even thicker roots amongst the black water. You finish washing your hands and instinctively go to grab paper towels, but sure enough, there's none. This place really needs some love. You wipe your wet hands on the back of your jeans and leave the bathroom. You make your way back to the main room. Jenny and Fred are already back in their coveralls and ready to go. You wash your hands, Chad. I don't want your musk in my cafe. I always wash my hands, thank you very much. You pout as the bunny snickers playfully. You can't help but feel a bit embarrassed. It's not my fault your sink was about to bring the end of time. How long has the place been abandoned, anyways? It's not abandoned, just unused for a prolonged period of time with complete disregard for its well-being. So, abandoned. Unused. Abandoned. Unused. Abandoned. Do you want me to pull up the definition? Fred holds up his phone menacingly as Jenny scoffs. You put on your coveralls. We all know the internet is completely wrong, so don't bother. And the restaurant has been unused for 7 years. Abandoned for 7 years. You stop that. Jenny punches Fred's thick shoulder. The dog laughs as the rabbit pouts. You zip up your coveralls as you chuckle, smiling at the two of them. Jenny and Fred could be easily mistaken for siblings. Well, disregarding them being different species and whatnot. You walk to your tools and find your rolling pan filled with paint and your paint roller at the ready. I prepared your stuff while you were in the bathroom. Thanks. You look up at the golden-furred man who is smiling back at you. You nod slightly as you pick up the tools by your feet. The three of you begin to paint again, Fred and Jenny teaming up around the counter and you alone with the opposing wall. Despite Jenny's return, it's unusually quiet. So Jenny, what's up? In the silent room, Jenny's upbeat voice is as clear as day. What's the story about this place anyways? How'd you get such an amazing spot in the middle of the commercial district? Well, it's a pretty long story, but I'll give you the short version and explain the rest later. Sounds good. So, basically this building was my family's home for years. Us rabbits have a certain stereotype, and for my family it was very true. We are a big effing family, like enormous. The three of you continue to paint. You're fully attentive to the story, however. Big family's going to need a bigger house, but all my brothers and sisters, along with our mom and dad, are city slickers to the bone. So my dad managed to get this building in the middle of the city. The thought of living in the countryside was out of the picture for them. He got it before this was known as the Market District, actually. The rest of the stores kind of grew around this place. And trust me, you're not the only one who likes the location. I see, so where did everyone else go? Well, most of us are pretty close in age, but I was the youngest of the group. One by one, everyone left to live their own lives, and ultimately, I was the only one left in the city. The rabbit seems a little deflated at the statement. You assume that her siblings aren't very close. After everyone was gone, my parents had the place all to themselves. They decided to try and use the space for a restaurant around 8 years ago. This was after I had already known Fred for about a year, by the way. We both graduated around the same time. Things were great. For the first couple of months. But soon the restaurant was crawling into the ground. No one was coming and bills were getting too hot to handle. My dad shut the place down after a year, but he was hoping I would take over the place afterwards. Did you do it? No. I had too many dreams of my own. My parents were really rooting for me to make something of the place, but I really wasn't interested at the time. She then traveled all around the world. Really? Where did you go? Where did I go? The question you should be asking is where I haven't been. Anyways, with me out of the picture and my brothers being scattered all over the globe, my parents didn't want to live all by themselves in such a big house. So they left. Ever since then, the place has been... Jenny slowly turns to Fred, who has a shit-eating grin plastered on his face. Unused. The two of you chuckle. The rabbit smiles before continuing. For 7 years, but now we're here. Well, that definitely explains why it all has the makings of a restaurant. Yeah, it was a pretty cozy place, and the food was amazingly good for the price. I just hate that it went under so quickly. There are definitely a lot more people now than when I was a kid. It used to be pretty boring around here. Oh yeah, there weren't nearly as many stores here as there are now. Hell, the only place I remember being here is that barbershop down the street. You glimpse over and notice how Fred and Jenny have finished their section of wall. Well, that's basically it. I could go on for hours talking about the history of this place, but let's save that for a dope-ass sleepover. Sleepover? Be right back. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. The rabbit makes her way towards the back hallway. The sound of a closing door is faint in the distance. Hey, let me help you out. Fred walks over to the side of the wall that's not yet painted. You remain deathly silent as the man gets into position, ready to paint alongside you. So, today's been really nice, right? What do you think of the place so far? It's pretty nice, isn't it? What's your deal? Huh? Well, I'm going to help you finish painting so we can get out early. The dog smiles at you, seemingly oblivious about what you meant. I was going to invite you for some drinks. There's a nice bar nearby. I mean, why are you treating me like this? Like what? I'm just trying to be nice. I know you're not stupid, Frederick. My question is, how can you act like nothing happened? You think being nice here and there is going to make me forget what you did to me? It's going to take more than filling my paint can to make me forgive you. I'm not even sure if I can. The only reason I play nice is because of Jenny. If she wasn't your friend, I wouldn't even talk to you. Fred holds his brush against the wall, looking at the drying paint in silence. I haven't forgiven you. And no matter how hard I've tried, I still haven't forgotten. Your throat feels dry as your arm grows weak. You feel an overwhelming weight on your chest. You pause for what you know is only a few seconds, but it feels like a few minutes. You're unable to find the strength to keep painting. Fred looks at you slowly and is greeted by a set of defeated eyes. You shake your head and resume painting in silence. The man lets out a worn-out sigh, his morale having run thin as your words tear him down. The small flicker of light in his eyes has disappeared, any hope seemingly faded from his face. He resumes painting. No more than 10 minutes drag by, the dog next to you seems to be painting mindlessly. Soon there's only a few meters of unpainted wall left as the dog stands next to you. I've got it. Fred steps aside without hesitation, quietly letting you finish up the wall. You finally get to put your paint roller down as the paint sets into the wood. You turn to see Fred, looking at the floor with his back turned to you. A set of feet scurry from the hallway. Sorry, I got Before Jenny could finish her sentence, a loud gasp echoed throughout the room, soon followed by an excited squeal. I knew we could do it! We managed to get this whole place painted in a day! Thank you so much! You guys are the best! You're welcome. You feel a constant vibration in your pocket as a familiar ringtone echoes loudly throughout the room. You grab the phone from your pocket and see that Kathy is calling you. Hey, is it okay if I answer this? Of course! You don't even have to ask. You press the accept button. Thony had taught you how to use the speaker function. It'd be rude to have a private call in the middle of work, though. That's what you think, at least. Hey, Chad, are things going well? Kathy's sweet voice helps shake off the awkwardness from earlier. Yeah, just finished with work for the day. How are you doing? I'm alright. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to pick up Thony today. Everything for his party is already set up, so when the guests come, the party will begin. You smile at the thought. A part of you wants to ask if Jenny can tag along. You turn to see Fred sulking in silence, still torn down by the argument. I'll go grab his gift and I'll be there a little later if that's okay. No problem with me. It's going to be a full house, so I'm going to be running around always. Just don't miss the cake though, sweetie. You see Jenny approaching Fred, seemingly concerned about his lack of enthusiasm. Hey, are you okay, buddy? Yeah, I'm fine. Jenny doesn't seem to accept the answer, standing behind the tall man and putting a hand on his shoulder. Fred, what happened? Nothing. I'm just tired. Fred, I know when you're Hey, Fred. Chad, that's Frederick, right? Kathy's staticky voice cuts through Jenny's sentence, stopping her dead in her tracks. Yeah. Why? Fred takes Jenny's hand off his shoulder and turns to face you. That's perfect. I needed him to come over today. It's about something we were discussing yesterday at the park. Can you bring him to the house? I don't want him getting lost. You look at Fred, who seemed to be listening to your call. Hey, Kathy. Fred timidly approaches the phone. Your heart sinks a little at his hopeless visage. Oh, hi, Frederick. Are you still free to come over today? Yeah, I don't have any plans tonight. The man smirks a little as he looks at your phone. Kathy's enthusiasm seems to be lifting his spirits as well. Nice. Chad's going to grab a gift for Thony and then head over here. Mind keeping him company while he runs his errand? Once he's done, you both can come over. Sure, we'll be there. Damn it. Alrighty, I'll see you boys later. Bye, Kathy. Yeah, bye. You hang up and put your phone back in your pocket. Oh, my two big guys are going home together. Jenny seems to have put Fred's sour mood behind her. Don't do anything dirty. At least not without protection. Tell me all the deets tomorrow. Jenny giggles under her sleeve. Yeah, don't get your hopes too high. Just when I thought my luck was turning, I got stuck with Fred for the rest of the day. I'd say Kathy is cruel, but she has no idea. Also, why didn't I get an invite? Crap, I forgot to ask. You're too classy for a kids' party. Jenny shrugs in agreement as the three of you begin to slip off your coveralls. You manage to take your arms out okay, but your foot seems to get stuck. You do your best to keep balanced, but like usual, you're about to fall flat on your ass. Whoa! Before you can land on your tailbone, Fred quickly turns around and grabs you. His firm hands hold your arm and shoulder. Fred manages to stand you back on your feet. You're stunned. You okay, buddy? Your eyes lock onto his as he holds you there. It takes a few seconds for you to snap back into reality. You turn away, slightly embarrassed. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, lovebirds, lovebirds, lovebirds. Jenny jumps up and down in delight. Her teasing doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, shut up. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. You remove the rest of the coveralls as Jenny coos behind you and Fred. You bend over to grab the paint roller and pan from earlier, with the coveralls tucked under your arm. Where do I put these? Right over there with the rest of the tools. You make your way to the other paint rollers and put your tools there. You guys are good to go. Great job today, team. Same time tomorrow, Chad. We gotta figure out what to do next. More than likely, we're going to take care of these floors or something. Sounds good. Do you still want to meet Kathy, by the way? Knowing her, she could definitely help out with her coffee know-how. That's ultimately up to you. Hell yeah, dude. Text me later so we can set something up. That being said, you two go and have fun before it gets too late. I'll clean up here. Thank you once again. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Sure, no problem. Fred puts on his jacket. Of course. This is what you pay me for. Oh, right. Give me a second. Jenny takes out her wallet from her pocket, opens it, and takes out a few dollar bills. Here you are, Chad. Go buy yourself something nice. Jenny winks as she tucks the money into your shirt pocket with two light pats. Did she just pay you like you're a South Beach stripper? Jenny, why are you like this? What? Haha, thanks, Jenny. You're very welcome, Muscle Dobby boy. Jenny lifts her fist towards you. You look for a split second but quickly realize what she wants. You lightly punch your fist against hers. She playfully shakes her hand She quickly shakes her hand off while blowing on it. It's Muscle Dobby Boy XX. It's Muscle Dobby Boy XXL to you, young lady. Fred laughs while rubbing his forehead. Jenny swoons over you like you're her Prince Charming. After you guys are done laughing, the three of you walk towards the cafe's exit. You open the door and hold it for Fred, who nods appreciatively at the small gesture. Before Fred can pass through the door, you notice Jenny lift up her palm and kiss it. Without a drop of hesitation or remorse, Jenny swings her hand at full speed and slaps Fred right on his ass. Jesus Christ, Jenny! Go get him, champ. Teehee. The massive dog grabs his ass in pain. He's shocked by her ambush attack. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Hold on a sec. Before another word can escape Fred's mouth, Jenny closes the door behind you two. A small metal click emanates from the lock. Let's get going. You nod while you grab your phone, checking the time before making your way to the park. As you make your way down the sidewalk, you do your best not to look behind you. I wish I could just go without him. Today's been awkward as hell. No matter how fast you walk, you still hear the same set of feet behind you. You continue to look forward, walking in silence. You make it to the park's entrance, and sure enough, Fred is behind you. You speed walk down through the park, and sure enough, Fred is still behind you. You make your way past the bus stop and towards the city's edge. No matter how far you go, you hear the same set of feet pounding on the soil behind you. This is not going to end well. As you seem to walk endlessly, your quickened pace finally gets to you. You have to take a break. You can only hear birds squawking and the waves crashing against the shore nearby. You turn around and, sure enough, Fred is still behind you. You look up at the tall man, who only seems mildly winded. What are you doing? Kathy told me to keep you company. I knew you didn't want to talk to me or anything. You've made that crystal clear today. So I figured it'd be better if I stayed out of your way and kept quiet. I didn't want to make things weird or uncomfortable. You make me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. Let's go. You finally catch your breath and continue down the road. You slow your pace down. Fred remains silent as he follows behind you. Wow. I'm an asshole. Have I ever been this cold to someone? I've insulted him, put him down, and basically treated him like crap. But all he's done is be nice to me today. I can't even think of anyone I've been shittier to in my life, and yet, you suddenly stop walking. Then turn to him. You look into his eyes and are greeted by absolute defeat. When you first met Fred today, he was so happy and full of life. Jenny made him laugh, he made you laugh, the three of you even shared a few jokes together. It felt like you finally had friends again, and yet you still tore him down, and yet he still helped you out. But now he's never looked more broken, and it's all your fault. But he's still here. So Fred, the man remains silent, looking away in shame. I can't keep acting like such a heartless monster. This isn't like me, so I need to change. How's your mom been? Fred seems taken aback by the question. A surprised smile grows on his face. She's been good, actually. Thanks for asking. I told her that you came back. You did? Yeah. I've never seen her happier in my life. She was so happy she cried for a bit. Oh. She wants to see you again. She says you're always welcome and she'll be waiting for her big cookie. Cookie? I haven't heard that name in a long time. Me neither. It's been so long since we saw you. My mom loves you as much as he loves me. Please visit her one of these days, Chad. I will. Trust me, Frederick. Fred smiles softly at your answer. You feel like a small weight has been lifted from your chest. You both continue making your way down the road. The tension is so high, like, oh my god. The farther from town the two of you go, the less you can see. Soon you're surrounded by the ocean on one side and an endless sea of trees on the other. Fred follows next to you for over half an hour. For once you're relieved to have him by your side. You look into the deep forest, unsure if the objects running in the distance are real. Whenever you feel uneasy, Fred seems to catch on, placing his hand on your back and pushing you forward. You turn down a lone dirt road amidst the trees and are soon greeted by a black gate. The entrance is surrounded by a large stone wall. Locked, just like last time. Wait, isn't this the community where you used to live? When did these gates get put up? Yeah, it's changed a lot since last time. Wait here for a sec. You walk to the left of the gate, scanning for a way in. What was once an old chain-link fence is now a very robust-looking gate. Damn. I guess a normal chain-link fence was too easy. Won't be able to get to the other side now. What to do? You proceed to walk deeper into the forest, following the big-ass concrete wall. Fred just follows. You walk enough for you to know that you're out of anyone's sight. An idea flashes in your mind as you turn around to look at Fred. Well, what do you... Remember my house was at the end of this road? Yeah, what about it? Well, it's not ours anymore. It's private property now. Wait, really? Your family left it behind? Yeah, and some of my belongings are still there. Last time I got in here, I barely managed to get out, so it might be dangerous. I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't need your help. I need to get something tonight. What do you want me to do? You point to the top of the stone wall. A perfectly dark area looms over you both. See that part of the gate? There's absolutely no light there whatsoever. If I climb up, no one will see me. Alright, and what then? Just stay here and wait for me to come back. Then we go to Kathy's house. But how are you going to get out? And if it's dangerous, I should go with you. You shoot a glare at him. He seems to catch on. Fine. I've got this handled. Besides, how am I going to get you up there? Fred nods at you with a smile. You ready? Of course. Fred walks up to the stone fence and then turns to face you. He squats down and extends his arms between his legs. He interlocks his fingers to make a small launch pad with his palms. Alright, ready? Take a deep breath as you walk up to Fred. You place your right foot into his hands. You hold onto his shoulders as you do a couple of practice bounces. Alright, one. With one last practice bounce, you're ready to rock and roll. 2, 3. You shoot your legs out with as much force as you can, being propelled by Fred throwing you upwards. The push Fred gave you is more than enough for you to latch onto the wall. You pull yourself up with all your strength and manage to bring your elbows onto the ledge. You feel yourself growing weak as you try to swing your legs up. Come on, just a little more. You do your best to straddle yourself onto the wall, but just as you're about to give out, you feel a force push you forward. Somehow, someway, you made it. Hell yeah, are you okay? You can hear Fred's voice coming from below, so you lean your body to see his face. Yeah, thanks. Wait for me here. I'll be back soon. I promise. Do I wait in the middle of the open? I mean, just hide or whatever. Alright, be safe. You sit on top of the wall, getting out of Fred's sight. Oh my goodness. I promise? What the fuck? Your face feels hot at you getting sentimental with Fred. It felt so natural, but you know it's off the cuff. Good thing Fred is not looking right now. The stone wall is a few times thicker than you imagined. It's wide enough for 3 people to lay down shoulder to shoulder. How the hell did they even make this wall? It's massive. Unlike the godforsaken tree, this is less than 4 meters high. Man, fuck that tree. Ah yes, breaking and entering. You shuffle to the other side of the ledge and look down onto the ground. A couple of bushes catch your eye, but considering it's not too far down, it'd be best just to roll with it. You hang your feet from the edge, looking down onto the dirt floor on the dirt floor below. Alright, 1, 2, 3. You slide yourself off from the ledge. Your legs buckle under the weight of the fall, and rather than bouncing upwards, you throw yourself into a forward roll. You glide across your spine and make a full rotation onto your feet. When did you get so good at free running? You breathe for a couple seconds, feeling a little dizzy, but soon you crouch down and take in your surroundings. Alright, time to grab Thony's gift. You follow along the dimly lit side of the road. It's mostly straight with a few shallow turns here and there. To your right, you can see a whole row of houses, most of them with lights on. You weave past a few bushes while shulking for around 5 minutes. Soon the road gets nasty. Having been abandoned for so long has left the path in tatters. You finally make it to your old home, a 2-story house that is falling apart day by day. Weeds and thick roots encircle the house, with many of the windows smashed in. The planks the new owners installed did little to deter looters. You do your best to remain low. There's still many houses not too far away from this one. Even in the dying light, it wouldn't be hard to be spotted. Sadly, you know this through experience. The sunlight seems to drain from the sky as you look at the perimeter from behind a tree. You decide to leave your concealment and pray no one sees you. You sprint into the house's porch, trying to hide yourself from the moonlight. You press onto the front door. It opens with the lightest pressure. It looks like someone kicked the lock in. The moonlight from outside makes it easy to see in front of you, but now that you're inside your old house, it's pitch black. Your old home has never had much warmth to it, but right now it's literally freezing you to the bone. You rub your arms as you adjust to the frigid interior. You remember the house like the back of your hand, so even in the non-existent light, you manage to traverse through it. You feel up and down the wall while sweeping the floor in front of you. You hope you don't step on glass like last time. You reach a massive gap in the wall and turn in the corner, your feet feeling a wooden bump. You've reached the staircase. You crawl up the staircase, feeling every step along the way. Some of them are broken or splintered. You pass over them instead of falling through. Once there are no more steps left, you stand up and reach for the wall next to you. Your fingers feel for the first door frame on your right. You recognize this is a spare room that was never used. You remember that your room is directly across this one. You twist the old knob a couple of times, but find it's locked shut. Damn it, it was unlocked last time. Who would go through the trouble to keep this room closed? Well, here goes nothing. And nothing can go wrong. You ram yourself against the door, but it won't budge. You take a few steps back and, without even thinking twice, You throw a kick at the deteriorated door. The wood splinters from the doorframe and rips off the handle out of the lock. Old shards of wood and metal fly off in spectacular fashion. Nice. It is somehow even darker in here. You can't even find a wall to hold on to. Shit, I can't see a thing. What if... You take a deep breath and focus on making a punch like yesterday. You open and close your fist a few times. You strike the air in front of you with all the dexterity you can muster. A sudden flash sparks from a polygonal fist in the middle of the darkness, stunning you as if you were thrown a flashbang grenade. Whoa. What did you expect? It takes you a couple of seconds to collect your bearings. The hand disappears the second you get distracted. Calm down, Chad. Calm down. Take another deep breath as you prepare for another attempt. Alright, one more time. You bring your arm back to your side and punch the air once more. The fist comes out in all its polygonal glory, filling the room with a faint light. Whoa, yeah, I'm used to it now. The hand floats in front of you like before, but this time it doesn't fade, even as you move your arm around. As you let out a sigh of relief, you can see your breath in the dim light emanating from the hand. You're surprised to find that this magical hand thing actually has some weight to it. Feels like it's attached to your arm rather than simply floating in front of it. Sometimes you feel it's misplaced, sometimes it follows your movements immediately, and sometimes it takes seconds slowly getting to your next hand. The fist's blue glow lights up your surroundings. The once pitch-black room is now slightly visible. This will do. As you move the polygonal hand around the room, it seems to ghost your movements with a slight delay, slowing down like it's fighting against the air around it. It almost reminds you of trying to move your arms while you're underwater. The more you see of the old rundown bedroom, the more you remember where everything is located, or at least where they used to be. You have one item in mind, so you search around the room for possible places where you may have left it. You look under your bed, the dresser, your old school bag, even your old jacket, but nothing. Where could I have left it? I haven't used my DS in a while, but it should still be here. There's only one place you haven't checked, but it makes perfect sense for it to be in there. You walk up to your old wardrobe, which is pressed against a wall. The door looks like it was almost ripped apart with only the two hinges holding it in place. Despite the massive weight of the wardrobe, you manage to push it against the same wall as the door. Loud scraping on the wooden floor makes your ears ring slightly. You're greeted by an unpainted wooden wall. With your free hand, you run your fingers up and down the wooden paneling, trying to find one that's out of place. Soon your fingernail collides with the board that's slightly raised. Bingo. When you press your right hand on the wall, the glowing apparition attached to it seems to collide with the wood. Guess you can't have it phasing through stuff. The light begins to fade the longer it's pressed up the paneling, almost as if it's about to be extinguished. You take the polygonal hand away and it quickly regains its luster. You try to pry the wooden board out of the wall. With one good pull, the wooden slab falls out of the hole. A thick cloud of dust erupts into the air as the wood hits the floor in front of you. The heavy piece sends a loud thud throughout the abandoned home. You pay it no mind. With the thick board out of the way, you move your illuminated hand around the hole. Within the wall lies a long opening, which has done a remarkable job of hiding your prized possessions. Despite the constant room inspections, you were the only one who knew about this hidey hole. A slew of childhood mementos lay dormant in the deep crevice. Your piggy bank, some action figures, your favorite books, and more. All with a thick veneer of dust. You scan the long opening and find a familiar shoebox. You have to reach into the narrow space to pick it up, but soon the box is in your hands once again. Feels like forever since the last time I've been here, but it's only been a few months. You open the cardboard box and are happy to see everything intact. A few of your old gaming consoles catch your eye, along with heaps of game CDs and plastic cards. The contents of the box are tightly packed together, barely able to stay inside. You rummage through the medium-sized box until your hand feels a familiar rectangle. You unfold the plastic rectangle and sees two small screens. You press the power button and pray that it still works. Beep, 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 beep. The screens light up and play familiar jingle. Your heart flutters with joy as you see the start screen. The battery seems to be halfway filled too. Gotcha. I'm going to give Thony my Nintendo DS in the Phoenix series, along with some other classics. You stick the small console into your pocket along with the roughly 10 game cartridges to keep the small kitten occupied. This should do. I really hope he likes the gift. I feel a little sad giving this away, but I know he'll make good use of it. You give the old shoebox a quick look over before closing the lid. A part of you wishes you could take the whole thing with you. And there's so many bittersweet memories in such a small container. Maybe one day you'll have a safer place to keep them. But for now, the box must stay here. Grab the old wooden panel and nestle it into place. It fit into the wall perfectly. Now with your old stash safely hidden away, all that's left is to move the wardrobe back into place. The old wardrobe squeaks and whines as you move it back into place, filling the house with commotion. The feeling of accomplishment warms you up in the icy room. Time to get out. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Okay, what was Jenny thinking? What was Jenny thinking? Like, oh, here's an idea. Let's just take... We're just going to be like, here you go. Here's a cup of coffee. You literally just made it out of Purig, or whatever it's called. And it's just like, here you go. That was made out of a Purig. So... Honestly... Just honestly... Honestly, it's fucking terrifying. Not much else can be said, so... Stay safe, have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.